Just waiting for the last few members to get themselves sat down in their slots. Yeah, so as you say, you feel that the Aster's maybe going to have the stronger sort of chance coming into this. Yeah, you say XXS. I mean, yeah, he's also just a very fun offlaner to watch, right? Still one of these offlaners who will play the Mars, play the Magnus, and they're always very excited to see him get his hands on. I'll see if that's going to be the case here in this draft. And for both sides, regards to hero picks, anything in particular outside of kind of the meta heroes that you think when each of these teams are looking at one another, they're really having in mind when it comes to the draft?
I just think that we could end up having a similar situation as we saw with like the bet boom with Aster, where it's like we could have some like Naga versus TB, this super late game kind of style, because both teams are very content with going toward the later type of stages, and both teams are pretty content with going and slowing down the pace of the game. I think they match up in a kind of like similar-ish way, in like towards like the late game kind of aspects, right? Like I prefer XXS over Toby just in a couple different things of like team fight, right? But Toby overall on the micro heroes, he plays them. XXS just doesn't really play those, so I guess that's like a little bit of an edge. When I look at like the mids, XWY and Stormstormer, these two are pretty volatile. I feel like they both have like, sometimes they just like pop off and they own a game, or sometimes they're very underwhelming. So a lot of similarities, at least when you compare player to player on these two teams.
Oh, no, for sure, yeah. The mid matchup always a fun one to watch, and indeed we'll see how XWY and Stormstormer sort of clash head to head in that lane. Yeah, in terms of sort of heroes, I'm looking right now that both of these mids have been able to get through a lot. Sort of the ones that we're seeing the most of Stormstormer are his Bat, his Pango, and his Invoker, whereas for XWY, as of recently, as in within the games that we've seen from them in the last 3 months, his main 3 picks are his Ember Spirit, his Tiny, and his Void Spirit. So tends to lean more heavily into these sort of Spirit picks. Even the Storm, he's had a couple of games on, compared to Stormstormer, who doesn't really play the Spirit heroes that much. A couple of games on Ember, but outside of that, quite a bit of a contrasting kind of hero pool around the mids for both of these players.
Yeah, I mean Stormstormer is a very specialized player, right? He plays his heroes. He'll play his Pango, he'll play his Invoker, he'll play, if it's a good meta for it, his Arc Warden and his OD. I think that's Arc, like those are his main 4. I mean, if you look, this guy's, honestly, I love Stormstormer, great guy, disgusting as a Dota player. If you look at his top heroes,
about, don't forget to mention his Tinker, of course, as well. Then
exactly, like he plays. He plays literally he's disgusting. Disgusting player. He always plays those cheesy kind of things and stuff like that, but we love him for it, so it's okay.
Now we'll see what sort of cheese he's able to get in this game. And then look at sort of the support duos from both teams. We'll see Entity with Kataomi and Fishman, and Aster with Baboka and Siamese Cat. What do you sort of make of both of these duos? What do you kind of feel works really nicely for each team's support combo and the way that they try and address the game?
Kataomi, I'd say, is a player that does more with less. Like, he's a very impactful player when he doesn't have, like, this super crazy amount of farm. While on the side of Baboka's literally a 4th core. Every single one of their games, super greedy player. So, like, they both make stuff happen, but Baboka's way greedier. And then when I look at Siamese Cat and Fishman, I feel like Siamese Cat, he's a little greedier as well, too. So I guess Aster, their supports would be a little greedier with the way that they do play. And the side of Entity, they're a bit more sacrificial.
Oh, for sure, for sure. Well, in terms of the lobby, ladies and gentlemen, we have everybody sat down. I believe the coin flip has just been done. So this game 1 is going to be underway very, very shortly. We're just readying up. And we'll see if we get a bit of a closer series. That last series, of course, if you didn't catch it, PSG LGD versus Tundra. And ended up being, the second half of both of those games, at least, quite one-sided, right? With LGD really having Tundra's number. And it very much seemed that Tundra just weren't able to deal at all against the play style of PSG LGD. And obviously, with reference to this series, we'll see if that sort of same clash between the Chinese Dota and the EU Dota kind of, again, falls in favor of the way that the Chinese teams like to play. Yeah,
I actually think tempo is definitely the way to go, right? Like, we saw that last game. The entire draft was rounded around tempo for the side of PSG LGD versus Tundra. And Tundra, 9 had a good game, but I think he's like the only one who actually had a good game in both of the games. Like, they were just completely on back foot. So I think if Aster wants to at least take a page out of PSG LGD's book, they could look to just play that super fast tempo kind of thing, and that's probably a good answer versus Entity as well, too. You know, these teams, the Western Europe teams, they've been playing versus each other a lot. Some of them take a little bit longer to get online. Liquid is a different team. Liquid is all about speed and tempo. So, yeah, I think that's actually a really good solution for a lot of these. Just play fast. Play fast, play aggressive, get these early game heroes.
Let's have a look at what we get from the bans. As we will see the Phoenix taken out by Entity. Something what we saw talking about Baboka carry games, right? We had that the other day, right, from Baboka's Phoenix.
Yeah, I mean, there's certain one of these heroes that he absolutely does just. I think his Phoenix and his Coddle are the two big ones that just like pop off and take over games. We saw him try techies. It was really weird though, because he went a build that I've never seen before. He went like Greaves 4-step Hex or something. No Shard. I don't think I've ever seen something like that from a techies. It didn't work. So I don't think we'll see that again. It was very left field. Right? It was Pudge techies that I don't think anybody really kind of anticipated. Entity, they'll stick with their Undying. They're very comfort. And Aster, I think we'll probably just see something like the Rubik +1.
Let's see. Yeah, maybe something like the Rubik Pango, the Rubik Enigma.
Yeah, Rubik Pango, Rubik Tusk, Rubik Enigma.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Rubik DP. Oh, they'll get that one through.
Cool. Another hero that's very dominant, been picked up a lot. I like these. I'm not crazy about the Death Prophet mid in most games, but it's a flexible hero, so it can be played inside that mid and off lane. This hero just sets pace. It's a tower taker. Sometimes some of these lineups just really do lack these objective takers, so I'm always happy to see it. For Entity versus the DP. Do they just want to go for their Pango? I mean, they really like it. Stormstormer did struggle a little bit yesterday, though. A couple of these swashbuckles and stuff were off the mark. But I don't think he should be pushed away from wanting to play it just because of, like, a couple of these little mess-ups. He's still a very good Pango player. Or do they want to just accelerate and maybe look at the Batrider? Okay, no, they'll. All right, that is early. I mean, we said there's a possibility of the TB versus Naga Siren, but I didn't think I'd see it in the first two.
All right. I mean, are you a fan of when teams kind of show their carrying, and in this case, the Terrorblade as early as they have done it? Like, what does that sort of do for the team when you show your Terrorblade this early?
Your whole lineup is now about Terrorblade, right? Like, you have to build a whole lineup based around him, but I'm not really too fond of it. I've seen Entity do this a lot where they just, like, take the priority of this hero up, but there's going to be so many different answers now. You have to ban, like, these Zeuses and all these, like, big spam heroes and stuff like that, too, and could definitely be concerns. Like, Rubik is pretty good versus TB. Like, if you get Sunder, you can always just, like, counteract stuff like that, too. There's a lot of spam that comes out from these two. The lane is going to be safe with an Undying with him, but yeah, I don't know. I'm never a big fan of TB in the opener.
Well, they'll ban the Naga Siren, so we won't get the Naga TB this time that you say we saw from some of these teams yesterday.
Yeah, I mean, thank God. I don't want to see like the 80-minute game.
80-minute game.
That Bet Boom Aster game was absolutely nuts.
I'll see what Aster concerned about Entity being able to get alongside this Terrorblade.
If you don't want to play Beastmaster, you probably want to ban it. You definitely don't want them to have Beast Terrorblade, because that just like kicks up the tempo, gives all the space in the world for TB. Let's see what they do look to ban.
And it feels like we see some teams obviously not care about like still picking Enigma into the Rubik. Do you think Entity is also one of those teams if they want to just get that again for Toby?
Definitely a possibility. I mean, he really loves the hero, so yeah. I could see it. I don't know. After watching, I feel like people just have so many answers now for it, right? Like, especially after we just watched the way that LGD was able to just dismantle it. Maybe teams are just going to start straying away from the hero a little bit more. Even though it's just, it always can have a good game. I don't know. Wait, did you see that?
No, I think that's just that's a UI thing. We've had that a few
Okay.
times. You mean where it shows
I was
another
like-
hero and then changes?
I was like, it was Bane, and then it just
Entity,
turned
they
into
banned one
Tiny.
hero and then they decided to change their mind and ban something else. No, that's just it's a visual thing.
That's the first time I noticed it. I think I just saw like Bane pop. Okay, it does it
That's-
every time. Okay,
yeah.
there, I saw it there that too. So yeah,
Related.
they'll ban at the Beastmaster. They take out the Pango as well too that we were talking about for Stormstormer.
Yeah. That's very understandable.
And now do they look to take out something like Ember Spirit? Like you were mentioning, you know, XWY plays it a lot. It's annoying for Terrorblade. Undying it as a 5 position, you're going to be maybe lacking some lockdown. Maybe a possibility.
It's the Entity whose hero pool they want to consider right now. Maybe taking something else away from Monet.
Yeah, I mean, you could also be just looking at like the Morphling and the Drow Ranger, right? Those can sometimes be a bit of a concern for these Terrorblades.
There you go. Indeed. Drow's gone.
Okay, it's the Drow. Yeah, I was thinking Ember, and then I'm like, wait, why would you even do that? You don't need to. It's not like they're probably not even gonna pick it right here. So I think you want to protect your Terrorblade as best as possible. Now for Aster.
Sure, but you're still going to consider the Ember ban later, right? Because it is a good Ember
probably.
game.
Yeah, I think like Ember and Morphling are probably the things I'm looking at for Aster. It's just because like the Undying, like, immediately you want these heroes that are just like faster to move around the map and just harder to pick up
absolutely.
with, like,
I mean,
disables.
Ember would be great against these two, against Undying
Yeah.
and TB. Absolutely, and it's one of the ones it's actually XWY's most played recently.
It's
Had the
by
most
far his
games on
best
it.
hero.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's super
he
good
looks.
from him.
He looks like some of these, like the Tiny and stuff like that. Sometimes he looks a little uncomfortable on the Ember. He does all the fancy little remnant plays and slight remnants and stuff. So, okay. So I thought Entity was going to open with the Batrider pick instead of the TB. This time now Aster will be able to get that last ban of it. And they themselves get the Treant Protector. A really nice pick versus TB. It also is a kind of a deny pick. Katomi, that's I think his most played and his most favorite hero recently.
And not always teams getting the luxury to be able to grab it on this sort of part of the draft, but it's still in. And probably, as you say, because Entity were trying to hold off for being able to grab it themselves. I think you're absolutely right with that.
I really like this hero when you're playing with DP. It's not even just like... It's not just like the heals and stuff like that. I mean, yeah, the heal is great. The living armor is amazing, but it's also the root. You keep heroes inside of the exorcism, and they are going to go for this Enigma. This is not an easy game. This is a tree ult.
Sure.
Can counter you all game. Rubik can counter you all game too. So, Entity going down their own style, but might get punished for it.
And here we go. Tusk comes through as well.
Okay.
And Storm. This will be what Storm are playing at mid, which he doesn't do that much.
It could still be Katomi. I think more than likely it's Katomi, but we saw what Boxy was able to do with it.
Oh yeah, true,
right? So.
true. Yeah, no, you're right. Absolutely, yeah, you're absolutely right. Yeah, I was going to say,
but flexible.
Storm only played one game of it recently, and he did lose on it. Ooh, see, Aster try the sniper this time. Okay,
I love this.
Sniper.
This looks great. I mean, sure, there's a Tusk to gap close on you and stuff like that, but this is one of the better matchups versus Enigma throughout all stages of the game, and it's pretty damn good versus Terrorblade, too. You just keep your distance.
It's good against Undying. Take down that Tombstone.
I really like this pick. I really like Aster's draft, the way they've set it up at the moment. Entity's a lot more volatile.
And this will be the carry sniper, right? You don't want to see this mid. Or you don't mind it?
More
because
than
Monet's
likely,
played it recently. XWY hasn't played it at all recently.
Yeah, I think like I said the other, like 95% chance. You know, Tundra they ended up moving it. Yeah, yesterday, but it was pretty disastrous. So I think you just keep it on Monet.
Yeah, Monet's gonna have a good time with this one. It's a good sniper game so far.
I think you still look at the Ember, right?
Ember seems great. It's some front line.
Ember looks great.
You don't care about the heroes that Entity have so far, and it's literally XWY's best hero recently.
But they're also probably looking and thinking that it's more than likely XWY playing Death Prophet, and because XXS he's more of a playmaker
rather than
from
the
the
offlane
rather than the Death
Prophet.
But
if it's a really appealing Ember game, you know you're gonna make that change up because you know XXS can play it offlane.
No, absolutely.
So I think that's definitely what they're going to be discussing.
I mean, you know, it looks good again. The Mars. Get the Death Prophet mid, put the Mars on the offlane. Great protection for your sniper all game. Definitely a possibility. We're gonna,
No,
I think it's gonna get banned.
true. It's yeah. Is it Entity? Do they ban an XXS hero, or do they consider that Aster could be looking for the change up and getting something else for XWY? Let's have a look what Entity's more scared of. I think you're right. They may fear sort of the XXS Mars more.
Yeah, just take out his team fighters, make him play something different. It's quite limited. Offlaner isn't really left.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, they'll take out him.
Okay,
So it's like
it was one or the other. So now that XWY can't play as Ember, then I think it is more likely indeed that they will just let him have the DP, and you do get the XXS Mars.
Yeah, I'm glad we're not clueless. At least the teams are thinking on the same kind of pattern that we are.
No, for sure. I mean, Entity, they were definitely considering, do we want to ban, one of XXS's or one of XWY's heroes? And I can absolutely resonate with the Ember. I think the XWY's Ember would have been the more potent final pick.
Okay, now what if they put DP mid, sniper, or sorry, DP offlane, sniper mid, and they pick a Morphling now on Aster also? It's a pretty good Morphling game too. I don't know if they want to do that. That seems a little crazy. Sniper and Morphling kind of do the same thing. I don't think I'd like that. That's a little too crazy.
I want to see something else that's a bit more in the face of something like a Terrorblade, that's going to be able to get in on top of him. And that's why I feel like getting XXS a final pick here could be the answer.
Yeah. I'm just trying to reach out. I think, I don't know. When was the last time XXS played Darkseer? It's also in the pool, and it's, amazing versus Terrorblade.
Not for a long time.
He just doesn't play
it, though. Not for a long time. We've not seen it in the last 3 months. No.
I didn't think he would. Probably a 2% possibility. It's a good hero this game, but yeah, for the team, probably not. I think they just stick to their guns. As Entity, they're out of time.
Well, they're gonna get the Stormstormer Pugna.
Whoa. Okay. Very volatile draft coming out from Entity.
I mean, I feel another hero that Sniper's kind of happy to play against, right? Goodbye Pugna Ward. And in some situations, goodbye Pugna. Sniper looks pretty happy this game, Fogged.
I agree. I really like Aster's draft right now. So what? Mars or... Let me think of another one.
I think, yeah, you keep the DP mid and you get something for XXS, right? DP's going to be fine against Pugna, right?
Yeah, I like that matchup.
Yeah.
What's another one?
Oh, okay. They're going to get a mid instead. They're going to switch the DP to the offlane, and we'll get one of the spirits here for XWY. He's going to opt for the Void Spirit. What do you reckon about this one, Fogged?
I've been asking for this. I can't believe I didn't ask for it this game. I've been asking for it all day. I've been asking it every single one of these days versus the Pangos and stuff like that. Very limited disables. Looking at the side of Entity, right? You've got Snowball, Enigma, Stun, which are, I mean, these are not real disables in a way versus the Void Spirit. I mean, it looks like he could pop off. Lane might be a little bit more difficult than if it was a Death Prophet in the mid lane, but cool.
Oh, very cool indeed. Very cool indeed. And I think definitely goes to show that Entity were definitely on point with the Ember Spirit ban. I think if that wasn't banned, XWY would have gone for that instead. What have we got?
Do you see this cute little Pugna set?
With the pumpkin.
What I've not... Dude, I want this set. I'm going to play Pugna now. If I get this is
maybe that's why
adorable.
Stormstormer wants to play it. He's like, guys, I got a really sick cosmetic for this one.
Dude, that is I love that cosmetic. That is gorgeous. So
let's see. I mean, so as you say, overall, you kind of like how Aster have got sort of more areas of the game covered with their draft. For Entity, what is the strong point of their draft? What could kind of become from this lineup that Aster will struggle to deal with?
It can be fast-paced with the auras and stuff like that, with the Pugna kind of dictating pace, maybe looking to get all these early towers to give space for Terrorblade, but I think they just lack ways to get on the Sniper. That's why I really like the Sniper pick. The Void Spirit, I'm a little torn on. It's a pretty good game for it. The hero's just not really the strongest at the moment. But yeah, I really like what Aster set themselves up with. How do you land Black Hole this game? You're playing versus Rubik and Tree. Super difficult for Toby. And yeah, Pugna, I think, is just a total toss-up of a hero. This hero either dominates or he just gets caught over and over again and just dies. And this could be one of those games that he just gets caught over and over again versus a Void Spirit.
All right, let's go, ladies and gentlemen. Getting into the action, we will have a small pause here. Looks like some TeamSpeak issues from XXS. Hopefully they'll get fixed pretty soon. But this is game one, ladies and gentlemen, Aster versus Entity. And honestly, I feel we've been we've been pretty blessed today in terms of the, all 3 games that we've followed. The final picks from the teams, it's been something a bit different, Vogt.
Yeah, we got Timber, we got Centaur, we got Bristleback.
Bristle, Gyro, and now Void Spirit. Sure, XWY's had a couple of other games on it recently. But then, similar to Stormstormer Pugner, I think he played 11 days ago in the other tournament that they played in. But other than that, he hasn't really touched it for a while. And not something, of course, that other teams sort of have at the top of their pick list. So it's going to be exciting to see some fun heroes to watch.
Yeah, I think Stormstormer is literally the only player in the world now who plays Pugner. Him and Weehaw, right? I think Weehaw still likes to play this a little bit. It's a very risky hero to pick because it's, like I said, very volatile. You get caught, you're dead. But if you're able to actually play at a distance and get a good early game, you can snowball pretty hard on this hero. He is playing into a lot of catch. He's playing into the Void Spirit. He's playing into the Rubik. Playing Pugner into Rubik is not fun either. You're just giving up an unbelievable spell constantly.
True.
You always give up Nether Blast.
Yeah, I mean, kind of overall, how good of a Rubik game has this ended up being for BO2 in terms of potential steals?
Definitely pretty damn good. I mean, Enigma spells, Undying spells, Pugna spells, pretty good. And then in the few situations, if you're able to get like a Sunder turnaround, can be pretty nice. And yeah, BO2, I mean, he's going to be very greedy this game, so you imagine he's going to get some good spell steals.
Yeah, and how's sort of that top lane going to end up? Having BO2 and XSS on this DP Rubik. Is that a lane that Watson's going to struggle in, or Fishman on the Undying? Can he do enough to sort of zone back these 2 ranged heroes, or is it not necessarily a lane where the Undying completely pushes the opponents out of the laning stage?
I think that's why they went for this, right? Rather than going for the Mars. I think they were like, okay, if we pick Mars, it's going to be this Undying annoyance when he's just spamming Decay, and the next XXS isn't able to actually pressure Watson. This lane should be able to pressure. This is tons of spam coming out from 2 of them. It's not just that physical damage. They have Fade Bolt, they have Crypt Swarms plus Spirit Siphon, so this one should be harder for Watson. Undying can't do everything here.
Okay, and then on the... What have we got?
I was literally about, on the bottom side.
Yeah, I was thinking on the...
I mean, Monet's fine. He's a sniper.
Oh, boy.
Yeah, well, you think it's unlikely that Katsomi and Toby will sort of be able to close the gap on him in the laning stage?
It's just, even if you close the gap, if Tree's there, he just pumps the Leech Seed down. And that Leech Seed, it does make the difference in most of these times. Sometimes the Eidolons in a lot of lanes, they're too much. They do too much damage. They're way too strong to be able to trade with, but Leech Seed plus Living Armor kind of turns the tide there.
Apologies, ladies and gentlemen, for this pause.
Damn you.
Seems like we're having some issues here with the voice chat, but there we go. All resolved. We're good to go. We can get ourselves on with the action of this game 1 of Aster versus Entity. Of course, a reminder, there's a lot of games going on right now, so be sure to get all the streams open. But if indeed you're only sticking with one, you know already that you're in the right spot. This is the place to be. Should be a very, very good series here between these 2 teams.
Yeah, especially if you like Sniper, right? This is definitely a game where Monet could absolutely dominate. If he's able to, and it's very likely, looking at the hero matchups and stuff like that, until they get like Blinks on Terrorblade or something, he could just sit in the back, and he could be a huge nuisance. Enigma can already have these big difficulties casting Black Hole this game versus Rubik and Tree. And also, he needs to catch these backliners. He needs to somehow get to the Sniper in some of these fights. Not an easy ask.
30 seconds to battle.
A little bit of dancing in the mid. Beautiful stuff here from Siamese Cat and XWY.
Keep those fingers warmed up. Oh yeah, wait, quickly. Can we get a zoom in on the Pugna set as well too, really fast? Just take a look.
Oh yeah,
at
we're
this
checking the
beautiful
Pugna.
little
Oh yeah.
Oh man, look at Storm.
Look at this.
Look
I think you probably got this. You don't think you have this set?
From where? What is it from? I gotta look actually.
It's from some Halloween thing, isn't it? I mean, it has to be some Halloween set.
Furious Nethergeist.
They had that recent. There was the last Halloween, right? That had that chest with all those sets in.
I did
different rarities.
I'm a bad person. I didn't buy that one. Entity able to sneak in. Toby gets that 3rd bounty rune, so 3 for the way of Entity. And we see down bottom. Didn't talk about it because it's. I think I highlighted every single game, but Quelling Blades on both. Quelling Blade Enigma, Quelling Blade Tusk. Cut the trees, make sure that they can actually lane versus tree and protect it properly.
At least they left him one tree. Oh, no, they didn't.
No, they didn't. It's gone.
They left one tree there to give him some hope, and then they just shot that hope down.
Yeah, let's see how these lanes do end up going down. I feel like 2 of the lanes Two of the lanes look like it could be a little bit difficult for Entity. Bottom, it can go both ways depending on how the sniper and the tree end up playing the lane. But mid lane, Stormstormer should do pretty damn good.
Yeah, we'll see how much XWY's start does get slowed down. So the consistency of the blast that Stormstormer can throw at him.
Yeah, I think though XWY he should be able to farm nicely until the levels start coming out. I think it's like once level 3 and 5, those big tickers when you get the higher points in Nether Blast can be annoying, but the first few levels XWY should be able to do nicely.
Yeah, and already seeing on the top, you know, Aster with this Rubik and DP duo, they can definitely trade back against Fishman when Fishman tries to run in and get the decays built up.
Fishman almost dying even. BO2 actually steps up too far, and now it's going to maybe go the other way.
Right, he's looking very dead. Indeed, he got a little tunnel vision there on towards Fishman. Watson, with the Metamorphosis at the ready, will happily pop that, and Entity will claim that first blood.
He doesn't even use the stick or Fairy Fire, just gets hit for too much damage, does not anticipate it. Yeah, he got too excited. He saw Fishman low. He's like, I can get this, but yeah, unable to. And now he's actually just going to go mid.
Yeah, it delivers the bottle.
Delivers the bottle.
Yeah, it's faster than a courier. So
and he's
able to
able
make something happen with that, and indeed both water runes are going to be gone.
Yeah, okay, cool move. I mean, he has to make up for the fact of the way he died, right? So, decent little comeback right there.
Off the mark with these remnants XWY. CS. Stormstormer. I mean, it's very, very close, very even right now. We'll see if that continues to stay the same between these two.
It should start to tilt slightly into the Pugner's favor, but maybe like the bottles and the checking of the runes and stuff like that will change things. Bottom should be okay.
Yeah, Sami's cat's fine. They don't get the catch on him. And level 2, having just both the potential to slow and then the heals between the grasp and the leech seed. Makes some very tricky support to go for. Monet also able to hold the creeps here on the next wave, try and get the lane back in a good position.
Yeah, Entity even actually pulling the wave here to reset the positioning there, because they weren't in a great position at the start here, because Monet's just keeping it right here with the range creep, and they're having to use shards every time the last hit range creep, and it's still actually getting denied. Nicely done for Monet. That death top matters a lot, though. I feel like this is a lane where they could have maybe slowed down Watson a little bit if he didn't die like that, but now Watson is probably just going to be able to free farm up here with the backup of the Undying.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Yeah, I mean, this bottom lane, just Katomi have to stay here for the most part to keep Toby safe, or because they just can't really make aggressive moves themselves between the two. Is there sort of the freedom for Katomi to head around the map?
Yeah, I think he can go check runes at the very least. I don't know if he can really move too far away from bottom. You definitely want to help Toby. You don't want to have him like feeding off these Eidolons to Monet. So I'd like him to stay bottom, but I wouldn't mind if he starts to go help mid lane to get some runes, because BO2, again, he goes and checks top rune, takes away the water rune, XWY gets the fill up, and Stormstormer, he might actually just have to walk the base.
Shouldn't get aggressive onto Katomi. A couple of shrapnels laid down. He's still got a third one here to cut off the escape from Katomi, as he'll pop the Fairy Fire on the tusk, but it won't save him. They get the kill here, Aster in the safe lane.
Such a strong lane. I mean, this is such a perfect sniper pick. And yeah, BO2 with these little moves, he's made up for his death up top. Takes the rune, now XWY, he's actually going to come out perhaps ahead in that matchup versus the Pugna, or at least be able to catch back up here.
Yeah, Monet able to CS very easily down here. Getting top farm and good denies as well.
He's getting a good chunk of these Eidolons too, and just keeping harassment going on. And lane's going to push out again. That's the scary thing, too. Like, Enigma, you want to be able to constantly pull the lane back with your Eidolons. That is not going to be the case in Katomi. Weird shards.
Can't really set up on anything. Even if he gets some sort of a catch, as you say, Sniper and Tree, they can stand their ground at this point with the lead they have in the lane.
Yeah, they just throw the Nature's Grasp plus the Shrapnel on top of the Eidolons, and they're just going to get whittled down very quickly. It was a very good start here for Aster in the bottom lane. But as you mentioned, Watson, he is having that free farm top. But XXS isn't really being slowed down either. It was just, of course, that one death from BO2 that causes Watson to be able to get free farm. Looks like now Watson maybe wants to go aggressive himself. They've got Tombstone ready. He's also got the meta.
There we go. Tombstone here to try and start the action, but XXS will be able to just walk away from this. So not quite able to get any sort of aggressive damage done here against the heroes. As Aster simply step away.
Katomi.
So he's got the wraparound, but XWY's hit the 6. So we'll have the jump at the ready. Aster will step back to the mid. They won't be killing this Void Spirit.
Nicely done, though. Katomi, he's able to get Stormstormer of Rune, finally. Little rotation. Top, though, those are big cooldowns. Tombstone, 80 seconds or 85-second cooldown, level 1, or 90, whatever it is. And Meta, also like 150, so can't go for the kill. Now Watson probably just has to go to jungle. He's able to farm faster there and doesn't want to lane versus the Death Prophet much longer. Stormstormer with this power rune, looking to get active. This is a good one, too. This is a sniper killing rune. But he's going to run into the tree. Not the target. Not the ideal target. But a kill nonetheless.
No, indeed. It's a kill, but for sure. If he was able to kind of close up on that bottom lane without being spotted, it could have been very hard for Aster to protect Monet. To sort of a diving Pugner with a haste.
And he's going to look to continue playing aggressive here. I think he gets spotted by that ward. So Monet should look to play pretty defensively here. But Stormstormer, he's playing aggressive. They're giving the Undying the mid lane, and Terrorblade is just jungling. It does mean that XXS, he's going to just be able to Exorcism immediately and take this top tower. Let's see if they look to react at all on the side of Entity. Pretty sure you just go for it on XXS. Yeah, there's the EXO.
And Fishman stepping over.
Oh, Fishman.
But
he's crazy.
He's very, very dead. XWY turns up, and Fishman will fall. So they'll get a kill alongside almost certainly being able to take this tier 1 tower without Entity doing too much. Entity themselves, they're focused on trying to get the trade down bottom. They've got the 3 of them. Stormstormer's still hanging around here, but Monet and Siamese Cat, they're pretty happy to set up and sort of hold this. And indeed, Entity, they'll start backing away from this position. They know that they can't force the tier 1 bottom, but indeed they will lose that one top. So Aster taking the early objectives here with the first EXO XXS.
Not easy for I mean, these are probably 2 of the best tower holders in the game at the moment, right? The Sniper and the Tree Protector. Like, they just drop Shrapnel, drop Nature's Grasp, Living Armor the tower. Very difficult for Entity to push unless they get kills down here. Power Rune. Looks like Stormstormer will get another one. He just has to venture bottom. They have to get a kill on one of these 2 in order to get this tower push, and they do have a ward behind the tower. Let's see if Stormstormer is able to find it this time.
They've got to be careful pushing in, though. You know, Monet, level 3 Shrapnel. You can't underestimate how annoying that is. If you start diving in underneath it, you've still got 2 charges to play with.
And they're even swinging the Boko.
He's in with the Invis. We'll get the setup with the Decrepify, but the TPs are coming in. Tombstone gets laid down beyond the tower. But Entity, they cannot dive in for the sniper. Stormstormer turns towards XWY with the life drain, but it's going to be a jumper at the ready with the Dissimilate. And Aster, they're not going to get caught at all here by the attempted move from Entity.
Cleaner moves so far from Aster in this early game. They're reading Entity perfectly. I see Watson, he showed up to the mid lane. I think he wanted to use the meta and perhaps hit the tower, but there's a creep wave hitting his top tower, so he's actually just going to have to back up toward top there. That tower, it's being held. The Sniper is going to opt to leave this area, but the 2 supports now with Fade Bolt, with Nature's Grasp, can hold on to it for some time. But Entity, they're forcing it.
Yeah, it should be for Boca. I mean, can he get out of this one? I don't think so. There's 4 heroes pushing in under the tower for him. I mean, he's buying himself a bit of time hiding in the corner, but they'll catch him. So Entity, they will finally be able to force him out of this bottom lane and get some further damage onto the tier 1.
Siamese Cat cuts the creep wave. Only slightly, but it's just up ahead of the tower where it will slow down this push a little bit. Nice little cheeky move there.
No, he's definitely making them spend a lot of time and a lot of resources to get this tier 1. You know, pretty much what 4 members staying down. Is he out as well? He is. All right, so Siamese Cat not only just slowing down the push, but doesn't even lose his life for it. He's able to get out alive.
He doesn't even TP base. He TP'd mid. What if it was a long TP? That was bold. He's got Arcane Boots finished up super early on this Treant Protector. Pumps up his team with mana, but that was a very aggressive TP coming out for him.
And they will, of course, finally get that tier 1 tower bottom. Indeed, in the slow start, 2-3, Aster are the ones with the lead. 1k gold advantage. See what they go for next. Eyes around the mid. Of course, they see on your screen are the odds provided to us by our sponsor, BetBoom. And you can check them out in the link on the banner below the stream.
We said that this would likely be a bit of a slower paced game. We're already kind of getting that. There's some nice strategical moves, but as kills go, only 2 to 3 at the moment.
Radiant structures are
Aster
fortified.
actually able to pressure this mid tower pretty decently here with this catapult. XWY knows he's safe.
It's hard
Takes
to
even
catch.
just one extra tower hit just to keep the catapult alive. They did significant. I mean, look at the mid lane. The Void Spirit is actually getting more damage on that mid tower than the Pugna at this moment. Stormstormer constantly getting pulled around the map to try to pressure this sniper. Hasn't been able to find Monet just yet. Now this time they might.
They're in with the snowball. TP's coming in. Monet is getting burst down low. They've got the punch up. They'll take him out.
Nicely done.
Very good move into this area of the map, but they may lose some heroes in return. XWI jumps forward. XXS is even going to commit in with the Exorcism as they'll look to chase Entity out of their half of the map. Aster. They'll get Kataomi. Toby and Stormstormer will manage to back away far enough. See if XXS can catch the wave and if he wants to consider trying for some pressure onto the tier 1. Looks like he's holding back from going straight for that sort of move.
He definitely wanted to get more on this out of this exorcism. Wanted to get that secondary kill either onto the Enigma or Pugna, but unable to. XWY will get the catch onto Fishman, but won't be able to commit. Just a rune grab. Witchblade is finished. Pretty even early game so far right here.
Nothing to your pile.
See in the mid.
They just want to hit tower. Going for a kill on XWI is very unlikely.
I've got Kataomi coming in with a wraparound. XXS has his eyes on him. See Fishman. Dropping Tombstone. Wants to play aggressive under the tower. Get caught by the Remnant, but the heals are there from Stormstormer, keeping Fishman safe. It's going to be quite the push coming in from Entity. As with the Metamorphosis as well from Watson, ready to contribute. They'll take down the tier 1 mid. Good pressure here as Entity group up.
The Pugna plus that Undying, they can really look to set up early for these towers. It's actually a really cool combo, too, that you don't see too much. The Decrep Tombstone. Didn't get to see it exactly just there, but definitely some extra potential to set pace and give that space for Watson, who turns up early to get that tower. Did he get lasted? He did. So nicely done from Watson, keeping himself at the top and keeping a 1,500 gold lead over the sniper.
He's getting super good farming on the TB.
Fishman.
Fast items.
Stormstormer now maybe in trouble.
Taking the punch onto XWY. He's out of Astral Steps.
Dire's middle tower
He'll have to dissimulate to play with if he feels threatened. XWY. Smoke up with Baboka now. So they'll charge towards the bottom. See if they can maybe get a kill and open up for XXS to get some pressure on with the Exorcism that's coming up again in 15 seconds. On this
They've got a
lane.
good, really good ward down here. Scouting out Toby. Toby very likely to get caught.
Get the mech off. Indeed, controls there with the Remnant.
middle tower is under
Take
attack.
him out. Don't want to go for any
Tommy.
pressure on the tower. Meanwhile, in the mid, Sasami's cat getting chased out by Kataomi. Fishman and Stormstorm also coming in to back him up. They'll drop the Tombstone, but
His team is
Sasami's cat,
coming.
he's already back over to this. Well, no, not enough safety from XXS. Just the damage here from the drain of Stormstormer will still manage to get the kill as Siamese cat falls. Aster will be able to farm up the Tombstone, though.
If Greaves were up, maybe. It was very close, but Greaves was still on cooldown to maybe him saving him. But Entity with Stormstormer. 3-0-1 right now. Pugna doing pretty decent, being able to set this pace here and make that space for Watson. But I don't think Aster's too fussed. I think they're still pretty happy with this early game. The Sniper's still able to free farm. Your Void Spirit's a little bit slowed down because he's having to move all the way to these sides of the map, but still think pretty content with this early game.
Smoke time from Aster.
They want to find Watson.
Ooh, can they smoke on Roche?
Dire are scanning.
That's too risky.
It's a little early for that one.
Yeah, sure.
If they get a
Gonna
fight win, then perhaps.
They're going to charge straight into the high ground. Fishman will be the one to get caught at the brunt of the attack. So Stormstormer turns over the life drain over towards XXS, but distance is created. XXS starting to back away. We'll see an attempt from Kataomi to roll in on this one. We'll get forced back to safety as they'll keep their distance from XXS whilst the Exorcism's out.
Good Force Staff. Stormstormer. I was like, wait, what? Support has Force Staff already? But no, it's Stormstormer who picks it up nice and early for his teammates. Aster, get a kill, get a tower. pretty decent usage of that exorcism. Back to business, back to farming. Not a big enough kill for them to force that Rosh. If it was level 2 Exo maybe, but still level 1, not the case. But opening up the map nicely here, getting that mid-tower. As they have so much information on the map. Aster, deep wards being placed early on. They have the top ward from BO2 that was scouting out the jungle up top. They have the ward bottom that's been scouting out Toby. So, I mean, they have a ton of information, really, of pretty much all the positioning of Entity right now. So let's see where Entity looks to go next.
Do they want to go for a smoke here, do you think?
I would imagine so.
Got one.
I would think so, versus Exo. But where is it to go? Right now, they don't really have the best places to hit, besides just like a kill. Unless they want to try just going into Roshan.
No, they can't do it. Unless TB's here.
These
four aren't going to do it.
No. But with Exo down, this is actually a call that they could look to make.
I mean, he's very close to his item, Watson. Hasn't quite got the Manta. Just needs a few hundred more gold. They might try and force it anyway. All right, here we go, Watson. They know that Aster's pretty split up across the map. And as you say, no threat of an exorcism. So with the Metamorphosis, they'll look to force this Roshan.
It was scanned earlier, but Aster has no intention of making the move over there just yet. But now they're starting to TP. There wasn't a Flesh Golem, so it's dying a little bit slower than usual. Still fast.
Someone's got to get in the pit. XWY might be able to jump at the right time. They'll throw in the Remnant, see if he can time it. He's going to get in with the jump. He gets the snatch. He's in. He picks up the Aegis, kills off Kataomi. Entity, they did get the last hit on Roche, but XWY slides in and is able to pick up that Aegis a little bit quicker than any of the members of Entity.
Entity wants to save it for the Terror Blade, but the Aether Remnant catches literally the perfect hero. It catches the TB, and then he jumps in and he almost gets the last hit as well with the Aster
nearly
step.
did with the step, yeah.
That was
perfect
really
jump there from XWY. Because it
Perfect
was a smart play from Entity, right? It looked like going into the pit. It didn't look like Aster were going to sort of realize soon enough, but just in time they head over and XWY able to get that steal off.
And now Aster have a pretty big momentum swing themselves. They have Exorcism. It's level 2. They have Aegis. They can look to play extremely aggressive now versus the side of Entity. If they had Flesh Golem, Fishman's was still on cooldown. If they had Flesh Golem, they 100% get that Roshan time.
Oh, absolutely.
But the fact that they didn't, that little bit of damage amp missing, it makes a difference.
No, I mean, that jump that came from XWY, it literally came as soon as he was around to jump. You know, that was as quickly as he could get there, and it was just quick enough in this situation to get that steal. And now they'll put some pressure onto the tier 2 top. Entity are turning up for the defense.
Got to be careful, though, because Monet, he's got the literal dream. Found the Grove Bow a couple seconds ago. He's got the Hurricane Pike, or he's got the... Well, now he does have the Hurricane Pike, so he's got that crazy distance he can sit from. And this was the problem inside the draft that we had talked about a lot, is how are you going to get to the sniper?
This tier 2's going down. No questions asked. Entity are not in a position to defend against this push, especially with the Aegis in the hands of XWY. XWY's next item is halfway on the way towards the Aghanims. I mean, now that Entity have lost that Aegis to Aster, what's sort of the next call from Entity's movements? What's the plan here for the next few minutes?
There's not really any like clear places on the map they want to go to, and taking team fights in a straight 5v5, it's pretty damn difficult. Your Enigma is never going to get Black Hole off, as we've said multiple times, and they're playing into this Exorcism right now, so it's not really easy for them to play the map at the moment, and then unless they just look for some like random pickups, but that's also not really the easiest either with their heroes. They have to have like Tusk plus Pugna, and even then that could not be enough damage in some situations. So not an easy game state right now for the side of Entity. And Aster, very comfortable, very happy with everything that's going on. I like that we see Siamese Cat. He's going for Blink Dagger Rush rather than going for anything like a Shard, so he'll have that cancel, he'll have that jump for the TV and the Enigma. Let's see how we see this one again.
Yeah, replay again of that move, as you say, XWY.
Look at the Aether
Remnant thrown in, look who it grabs. It grabs the exact hero that wanted to be picking up that Aegis. XWY jumping in, jumping out, picking up a kill as well, taking out Kataomi. Some smooth stuff here from the Void Spirit.
Gives him a big blanket now too. With Aegis, he's 3-0-2 already on Void Spirit. He's 3 components at this Aghanims already. This is going to be really disruptive for the Pugna everybody really on the side of Entity. They've got Dispels, sure, from the Enigma, but this just, even that little stutter step of a Silence can cause havoc.
Farm's still very good for Watson. He should be on track to have the Skadi for the next fight. Just about a point booster away in terms of gold. I mean, will the TB be, like, how easy is it for Aster to take down a farm TB? Do they still have ways of killing a Terrorblade that's this farmed without too much difficulty?
Oh, absolutely, yeah. They've got more than enough damage from DP and Void Spirit, and I think the big issue is just like getting to Monet. You know, it still is going to be that big solution that I'm not sure how Entity solves it until they do have... Until probably the Blink Dagger on TB. They have Blink on Katomi, so he's at least got something to be able to get and close the gap, but TB has to be able to follow up with the Blink Dagger as well in some stages, but it's going to take more time for him to get to that item.
Kasami. Get the blink off, but XWY, he's quick to follow. Take down the Tusk. Stormstormer looks to set up around the tier 2. XWY and the rest of Aster will get back up to the high ground. We have to take back this outpost, make sure they continue to have both of those under their control.
They see Fishman right now also. They could look to jump him. They've got an Astral Step. It just comes back up. Can they get the range? Whoa! He's juking.
He is. Still grabbed back by the Remnant and another pick off at Monet. Actually able to get the last hit on that kill, so more money for him.
Trickling to catch up versus the Terrorblade, still significantly behind. But his positioning will be a lot easier in the fights compared to Watson. So let's see if Watson does queue up that blink right after the Skadi.
I think it could be appealing.
I think he does need to.
Against this sniper that's, you know, as we say, is sort of unaccounted for through some of the other picks from Entity. You've got to have something that's going to make the game hard for Monet.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure Watson's thinking, like, do I need BKB right now? Can I just go for the blink? Can I be a little greedier? But it just does feel like they need that extra. They need something to be able to get to Monet, even though the game's like, you know, the net worth and everything's kind of this even footing. I'm just worried about this sniper. But Entity, they have a pretty big timing right here. Watson, since he's so massive, they're going to look for a fight.
There we go. Of course, there we have on our screen, ladies and gentlemen, the odds provided to us by our sponsor, BetBoom. You can check the banner below the stream for more information. In the mid, Baboka will be the one to get caught by Entity. Let's see if they can turn this into anything else. They'll start to push down the mid lane. And now with the Aegis expired on XWY, a good bit of an opening to get back to business and maybe try and use how powerful Watson has managed to make himself right now.
Yeah, they've got like double item timing, right? It's the Watson with the Skadi, and it's also Stormstormer has an Octarine finished up too, so playing to their strength around this and playing to the strength around the fact that Aegis went away. They get more. Looks like it's just going to be a little bit of pressure, a glyph, and that Rubik kill. Okay, Watson queues up the BKB. It's one of the two. We'll see if he still does switch it up depending on what happens, but... That's a good rune. XWY finds himself an Arcane. I think Aster can look to smoke themselves here.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
XWY leading the way.
Watson's a bit far away from his team at the moment.
He's trying to join back with them, but it may take a little too long because already Aster, they're in with the jump. Well, good snowball coming from Katomi, buying some time here for Fishman. BKB's popped by XXS as well as the Exorcism. They get the punch up on XWY. XWY is going to get taken out as Watson just shreds through them. I mean, a massive couple of kills there. That was the Exorcism pop by XXS, and he immediately dies. Aster, they've got to run. Monet.
Aster.
Pushing back with a Hurricane putt. I mean, Entity, they're going to be able to push for more here. They get in under the tower. They get the punch up onto Siamese Cat. I mean, Watson, he indeed does make it over to the rest of his team in time. Has big impact as they now push down the tier 2 tower. I mean, Aster just got crushed in that fight, Fog.
Katomi, that was such clutch plays. He gets the chain control. He gets the punch up. He gets the control onto XWY, who can't actually get that second Astral Step off. And it's really also just that snowball save. I mean, Katomi playing with full vision with this ward down, they get that ideal fight. And Watson, he's getting way too big.
He's getting so far ahead now. You know, there's kind of at a point that it's like, well, Maybe the sniper's not going to pose too much threat to Watson because he's got essentially 50% more at the farm than the sniper has. 12k against 19k at 25 minutes. This is a massive difference now between these two carries.
Yeah, maybe just ignore the sniper, right? Maybe Monet just won't be able to actually deal with this. Really good plays from Entity in these last moments. Katomi, what a beast. Had a bit of a struggle in the laning phase, but once he's had this blink now, he's found some huge grabs. I mean, even jumping forward in a mid lane. I don't think they have any follow-up, but just an annoying play. Aster. They've gotten slowed down heavily. I mean, 50 seconds, no exorcism. Entity building further and further with this lead for Watson. He is a total beast.
Yeah, this is just insane levels of farm from Watson comparative to anyone else in the game, and also impressive. Well, considering that this was a second pick Terrorblade, and nothing that Aster's been able to do so far has slowed down Watson's game at all.
Yeah, it's like they have all these answers for the Enigma. They have the sniper who's farming, but nowhere near the realm of what Watson's been able to get. Watson also is at really high level. He's level 18. Monet only level 15. He's been running around with his team a lot, while Watson's just been playing kind of on his own and just joining in afterwards. And now another smoke. The downtime has been there where Metamorphosis is back up. Exorcism is back up on the side of Aster, but this Terrorblade is just going to delete heroes.
Well, that's the thing, right? XXS wants to sort of charge in, put the BKB, pop the Exorcism, but he dies through it very, very quickly when he gets focused down with the physical damage of Entity. Roshan's up. Entity, they're just going to walk straight into the pit and start taking it. We'll see if this time round, Aster, maybe, can they go for another attempt at the steal?
They gotta.
Falling low. And he's in for the jump. XWY, he's able to do it again! This time he gets the kill as well. The shard does get taken by Watson, but the kill on Roche and the Aegis, I mean, a second time this game that XWY is able to make the jump at the right time, and this time even more perfect than last time, getting the kill on top of the Aegis still.
Toby cast the black hole, but I think he Astral Steps plus Resonant Pulse, so the silence from the Resonant Pulse just instantly cancels Toby.
Oh
and
my
yeah, gets last hit and Aegis. Alrighty.
XWY here.
Okay.
You've got to watch out for your Aegises this game, because he's after them. And indeed, yeah, just checking there, it was exactly as you say, that the pulse silence caught Toby in the black hole.
That was sick.
Yeah. All right. Let's see what Aster can do now. Again, having the Aegis themselves.
It felt like they kind of needed that one there to stop the momentum that Entity just got after that last team fight. Now they get some time to finish up a couple big items. XXS maybe has a blanket window to be able to finish up a halberd that maybe could protect him versus this incredibly large Watson. They still have this ward down bottom, though. XXS could be in trouble.
Couldn't quite get the shard grab on him.
Almost.
He's away.
And Katomi, he's actually got 3 components of Aghanims already. So, you know, sometimes we were talking about maybe they're going to have difficulty getting on Sniper. Maybe just boot the Sniper out of position. Katomi could come in clutch.
Top lane. XWY is starting to hit onto the tier 3 tower.
Getting some decent damage.
Trying to force some sort of TP back from Entity. Entity, they've opted for a smoke. Maybe see if they can catch any members of Aster whilst they know that XWY is away from sort of this half of the map and pushing on that top lane. Now heading to the triangle. Already Monet's backed off from this area. They'll start clearing up around the tier 2. They'll see if they can get in with any sort of jump behind this. Is Watson. He's leading in with the Shadow Blade. Closes the gap. Onto Baboka. They'll find the Rubik. Entity get in, take the kill, and they've got the creep wave pushing down the mid lane, so we'll be able to take this tier 2 tower as well. And fortification is going to be popped, actually. But Aster, do they want to bring anything further back for the defense? XWY still sticking around this top lane to play aggressively. Are now up for the TP back alongside Siamese Cat as they return towards the mid. Maybe see if they can keep this tier 2 alive for a little bit longer.
Watson playing so damn well. I mean, him and Katomi really being the difference makers to be able to find these little, like, cheeky wraparounds and stuff like that. Really well played.
Invisibility.
That whole differential of gold, that net worth lead, it's literally all Watson. He's got that 6,000 gold lead over the sniper.
And you like this going for the silver edge as sort of like the surprise gap closer rather than the blink this game?
Yeah, I mean, it's more damage, right? Instead of just having to wait for something like that swift blink. So, yeah, I'm cool with it. And it seems like ignoring the sniper, it is kind of working at the moment for the side of Entity.
No, for sure, yeah. It feels like, yeah, Monet just doesn't have the similar level of farm as like the Terrorblade that allows him to pose such a threat with the amount of damage he's doing. It's just not that... It's not at a point where this sniper's just, you know, eliminating heroes. Entity can survive quite a few shots from this lad.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, Monet is going to commit for the Lincolns. So I guess he saw what Katomi's going for. I think he saw that he's going for the Aghanim, so wanting to have some type of, perhaps, protection versus that. Does mean his damage is going to be a little bit weaker, but just looking for anything to protect his positioning, because it's all about positioning for Monet and Aster. And there it is. Nags is done. So for Entity, might look to smoke and make another timing. Do they have a smoke?
Aster's going to go for the smoke themselves. So Entity might... I mean, this could end up with Entity getting a fight handed to them if Aster aren't clean with the jump.
They don't have a smoke themselves, I don't believe, on the side of Entity, though. So going to have to just walk into the fight a little bit more difficult. They do have another item picked up, though. Toby does have a blink. This could maybe catch Aster off guard.
Radiant's middle tower has
See, Aster, they'll settle for taking the outpost. Doesn't look like they want to go searching any deeper towards the mid lane. It is getting close as well to the Aegis expiring on XWY. He's not going to have that for the next fight.
Watson. He's got a DD in the bottle. Oh. He's going to shred it. Pretty much, if they don't get on top of Watson, if they don't somehow control him or kite him during BKB, this Terrorblade could just rip everybody to shreds. It won't matter if Monet's just sitting in the back lines peeping.
No, Watson's just going to destroy them if they don't deal with him somehow. And with that DD, if they lose the fight, they're going to be losing a hefty bit of the base as well to the push of this Terrorblade. So, Aster, they've got to be prepared.
Watson just, I mean, these last hits are insane. I mean, it's a Terrorblade, of course, but 473 to the 290 of the sniper at the moment.
I mean, with how farmed Watson is as well, is there any sort of rush here for Entity, or can they just hold the map and wait for the next Aegis?
It feels like they can probably just hold. Like, sure, Enigma, as we said, he's answered in like 5 different types of ways, but Watson having this type of game, I think they can probably be pretty patient with this one.
That gives him time as well to work on that next item. Is looking to opt for that Blink Dagger, so he has both that and the Silver Edge to kind of dance around the fights, close the gaps.
I like it, I like it. Stormstormer, he's got an Aeon Disc, he's picked up a Blast Rig as well too, so pretty survivable, even if he does get caught in the front lines versus the sniper. He's got a good amount of save on the back lines behind him.
Ooh, Entity.
Okay, let's see.
Heading up into the high ground. Aster are smoked. He's going to get the jump first. Straight away, XWY looks towards Fishman. They burst through the Undying. Watson pots the Metamorphosis. The BKB and the Exorcism coming out from XXS, but he's having to keep his distance from this Metamorphosized Terrorblade.
Katomi gets the kick.
So he gets the jump in, and indeed XXS, he's getting pretty low here to the physical focus damage of Watson. Kataomi is in with the punches as well. XXS taken out. As with that, there's no more fight for Aster to be had here. And again, we're really seeing the struggles of XXS to trying to get in on the front lines, and this time kind of inadvertently so indeed with the kickback from Kataomi. But this Death Prophet doesn't seem to have the survivability at this stage to deal with how farmed and how much damage Watson can do.
No, absolutely. At Katomi, I mean, really loving the way that he's played this game. He has crazy impact. His Blink Dagger, we saw the impact with the save and with the punch that he was able to get on the initial go earlier down bottom. Now at this Ags. Also, of course, having a headband, he's got this crazy range to be able to boot back people into this Terrorblade meta. Really well played so far. The threat of the black hole, you know, Toby hasn't had to use it.
No.
And they've still been able to just do such a good job in these team fights.
Bottom, they're going to try and look for XWY. Toby does have the black hole if he can catch him with it. He knows he's in the corner of the map. Does he want to go for any sort of blind play? No, he can't at the moment. Blink's still on cooldown. So XWY will manage to get into the corner and TP out. They'll scan just to see if he was still around. TP was at the ready, so XWY able to reset back to base. And it's coming close. 5 seconds. We're going to see how long the Roche respawn is. Almost certainly where we'll see both teams head towards. We'll see if... I mean, there's no way XWY gets another steal off, otherwise that's going to be insane. Obviously, the last 2 times, Aster have managed to trip Entity up at the final moments of the Roshan. It's going to be a short respawn, 30 seconds, and Roche will be back up.
How long on these metas and Exorcism? They're both going to be back up at the exact same time.
Okay.
Monet almost has Daedalus, but now he's playing into an Elven Tunic that was picked up a couple moments ago from from Watson from the Terrorblade. So it's like now there's an evasion that he has to deal with. And Watson,
and the Swift Blink.
He's actually committed. Yeah, he committed
He's
all
got
his
it.
gold.
He's got it. He's got it. So Swift Blink, Silver Edge, this Terrorblade. Yeah, it's at a point now where it's just good luck sniper. You know, if Watson finds money in the fights. Oh my goodness. Okay. Well, he is. I don't think you can't fight this. You almost have to kind of wait for the DD to expire. I don't really fancy Aster's chances if they turn up to a fight with Watson in his current state.
They have to kite him somehow, but it's not easy at this point with the items because of Katomi, right? The way that he's itemized, you can always keep them inside of the fight. This is scary moments here for Aster. Not really getting too much farm besides onto Monet, but yeah, his damage, he'll have Daedalus, but he won't have that True Strike to be able to go through that little bit of evasion that is coming out. And it's just, Terrorblade has insane armor too, right? He has like 42, so this physical damage is lackluster. 70% physical resist.
Into the Roche they go. Aster know it's happening though. Got their eyes on it, and Entity won't full commit. SWY manages to clear out the Eidolon, so Entity hovering around the pit with the smoke, ready to jump if anyone on Aster steps forward into the river.
But Boca is just like hoping that someone casts some spells for him to steal, because I feel like I haven't even seen him get almost anything on this Rubik. It's Watson. He's going to send the illusion into Scout. DD's still at the ready in the bottle.
Is under attack.
Gonna go for the wraparound here. We've got vision. Katomi ready to... He's just ready any second that they get vision to kick someone in. And that DD gets popped. So Watson, he's gonna start forcing this rush. He doesn't need to pop the meta anymore to clear this.
It's gonna be going down quickly. Aster have got to do something soon. XWY trying to fish a little bit with the remnants throwing in. The snowball to the side as XWY jumps in or jump back out. Get the grab to drag XXS back to safety here.
Roche is dying.
Trying to help him keep his distance, but indeed it's already gone, and this time... Is he... No! Oh my goodness! He's not going to get it this time. He was close with the timing, but this time round, XWY does not get the Aegis and will die for his attempt there to get him with the jump. Now over towards the mid. XXS pots the BKB. Will be able to turn with the disarm onto Watson. They'll catch the two of them with the overgrowth as well. And then bringing Watson down pretty low. In fact, Watson, that's the Aegis gone. Aster, they're able to take him down once. We'll see if they can set up to do it again. Off to the side, Fishman getting focused by XWY and XXS. They've taken out the Undying. Watson back into the Invis with the Silver Edge. Toby jumps with the Malefice onto Siamese Cat to try and stop them from being able to chase down the Terrorblade. And Watson should be fine at getting away. Stormstormer able to TP out just out of range of the Remnant, so he'll make it back safely. But despite Entity getting the Roche and getting the Aegis, Aster actually able to very quickly take it out off the hands of Watson. They do have to commit buybacks, one from each side, but obviously the bigger one being that from Aster. XWY did buy back for that. But a situation where XXS was able to stay alive. I think just nice stuff there between him getting the halberd down onto Watson, and then of course the overgrowth as well from Siamese Cat also causing issues, making sure that this fight, Watson wasn't able to get the kills as easily as he's been able to do before.
Yeah, if they can kite him and isolate him, Monet's actually able to peep away a little bit here. They get the important heroes out, though, right? Entity, they didn't end up losing those big cores. They were able to just kind of TP out right in front of everything there. So Entity still very comfortable with this positioning here. Stormstormer now, though, in the game.
XWY, he's got to be careful. He pulled back for this, and he's got caught in the black hole.
Caught.
Oh, that silence, though. And the stolen black hole here. It's beautiful stuff coming out from Baboka as XXS steps in. Monet gets the second. They get the catch onto the Terrorblade. This is going to be Aster. Potentially turn the fight around, but the BKB's there. She's under as well. Watson back up to full HP. Buyback's going to come out here from Stormstormer. As Watson is trying to get back in over towards XXS. They'll look towards XWY. XWY's got Astral Step up in a second. He's away. Just back over towards the top lane and out of there. Siamese Cat looks to be the one to be left behind. As he'll die, but the cores of Aster get out. An Entity, they do commit a buyback themselves from their mid this time around. Stormstormer buys back for that fight. Aster,
Wild
they
game.
may be far behind, but these last few moments, these last few fights, some impressive stuff coming out from the team to hold against Entity's lead.
Yeah, I mean, XWY's reckless kind of plays are actually working out for them in a lot of times. Him getting these Aegis snatch, him just forcing the fights, allowing Monet to stay in position. Now Entity still in an okay spot with Watson, but 2 buybacks, I think, on cooldown, right? The Tusk and the Pugna.
Yeah, Katomi and Stormstormers.
Aster. Baboka even getting a stolen black hole there for a second, getting some big kind of grab. Now he's got stolen Sunder.
He's got Sunder.
This is also a big difference. Yeah, this is the 2 best steals he's been able to find the entirety of the game.
Yeah, for sure. Eyes on Baboka.
Game still feels very close. Entity still definitely favored. They also still have this refresher shard for Watson if they want to do some type of tricky, fancy type of play. But Aster still showing they do have some grounds in this game.
See, next big item's coming up. Yeah, Satanics for both of the carries. One has his. The money's there for Watson. If he wants to spend up. Of course, we are getting to the point of the game where buybacks are starting to become quite important. See where they head towards next.
Yeah, checking to see any of these other little items. As you said, Watson saving all that gold.
I mean, do you think he will go in for the Satanic? I mean, what's sort of the consideration here? Anything else other than the Satanic that could be nice for Terrorblade this game?
No, I think it's probably the most appropriate, unless we go down towards like Rapier territories or something crazy. But I don't think that's going to be the case. He also, maybe he is seeing that Monet is not building MKB. If he does maybe spot that, there is a chance to perhaps slip in a Butterfly. It's not my favorite item by any means, but if he does see that inventory being full, could be a slight chance of an option.
And Monet, I imagine what he's going to... Will he sort of take the treads out to get the Butterfly in that final slot?
Yeah, I mean, if. I think Satanic is the better choice, but there's a chance.
No, he's got it, right? But he's queuing up Butterfly next, Monet.
Oh, Monet is... Sorry,
Monet.
yeah, my bad.
Yeah,
my bad. Yeah. Yeah, I think so. I mean, he's got Ninja Gear, right? A little bit of movement speed.
Oh, that's true, actually. Yeah, he's got the moves.
Gives him a little something.
Neutral. Yeah. So
yeah.
That will fit nicely in that last slot. The Butterfly still got a bit of money to go, of course, for Entity.
Entity.
And the smoke, they're going to look for the jump on XXS, but they'll try and initiate with the Snowball, which gives chance for the BKB to come out from XXS. They'll commit with the Black Hole onto him, though. Make sure there's no chance of XXS's survival. The Death Prophet gone for 70. We'll see how much they can push in with this. Creeps are going to be making their way around on the top lane.
I mean, Katomi feels like he's doing so much for them. These grabs, these catches are amazing around the vision. Watson quickly gonna evaporate this tower. He still has the refresher shard too, just in case of anything. Like, he's got these double BKBs and everything.
It's a minute without just under a minute without the Death Prophet, but overall they're backing away. So it looks like Entity don't want to try and push this too much, despite the fact that XXS is gone.
Maybe just waiting for their buyback statuses and stuff to come back. They're probably not feeling they need to rush anything. Bottom, Fishman will be able to get away. I think that's probably the case of things, right? They're probably just like, we don't need to force the issue. The next Roshan fight is probably the big decider. If Entity gets that Rosh, they get the obvious, incredible benefit of Agnim's Refresher Shard and everything, but they get that Aegis for the push. And for Aster, definitely a difficult place for them to fight around. If they can't constantly take out this vision, like Katomi just has a free initiation just to be able to punt somebody back into the hands of Watson. Yeah, 60 seconds. Black Hole's going to be able to come back up for the next fight also. So Entity pretty content with all this.
Yeah, so hard to use it though without the threat of losing it to Baboka.
Yeah.
He's done it before and he'll do it again.
Smoking up after they take out the vision. Aster, they want to get initiation of themselves. Black Hole still on cooldown for 40 seconds, trying to take advantage of these cooldowns. 40 seconds also on meta. Claiming vision in the area at the least. Don't think they're going to be able to find the fight that they want though. "20 seconds. Entity soon to be ready to fight back themselves. Oh, Stormstormer committed his gold. He actually goes for bots too, plus a BKB.
Alright. I mean, I guess he feels, buyback's still on cooldown for 2.5 minutes.
Okay.
You know, he's an optimistic guy. He's like, well, in 2.5 minutes, I'll get the gold back up anyway.
True. Very, very true. And he can be all over the place on the map. The TP cooldown is like 20 seconds, so. Push beginning. Don't need to commit the meta. They have Eidolons plus Blast. Aster.
Decent chip damage here. Tier 3.
Said it was likely that this game goes the length, goes the long stages, and so far we are seeing that as bottom, a really big rune spawns up. The DD is at the ready for Watson. Siamese Cat trying to catch up the Fishman. XWY, he's close, but no Astral Steps ready. Can't quite get the grab. DD doesn't have a bottle for it, but they're looking to fight.
They're in with a jump. They get the kickback. XWY's been caught, and he'll be able to assemble the Eon Disc. He was holding it, disassembled, of course, puts it together there just in the final moment, and that will allow him to survive from Entity.
So scary. The chain stun they actually have is pretty damn solid with the kickback and then the snowball punch, and Toby just a little Malefice with his shard. It is almost enough for them to chain lock down this Void Spirit.
I mean, I tell you, he kind of took his time as well putting that
He did.
together. It got very, very close, but he did it just in time, of course. But leaving it to the last moments there, XWY.
You know, this is actually pretty. I shouldn't even really touch on it, but you know, during DPC when we were casting Aster, there was two moments where XWY, he didn't unlock his Aeon Disc and died and almost lost the game.
Oh,
for his
no,
team.
really? Oh,
I swear to God.
After seeing that moment there where it was as close as it was, I can believe you on that.
Yeah.
he
I can't remember.
he left it pretty late.
I think he was playing Void Spirit too, if I'm not mistaken. But meanwhile, bottom, Stormstormer, he's able to sneak the tower, and it is a late Glyph.
All right, big Glyph coming out. Roshan's up. Entity. Probably in the better spot to just head in and take this. They could try and force this, especially if they see kind of who's stuck back at the base from Aster dealing with these waves pushing in. See how much they want to try and force this.
It's difficult for Aster to walk into this fight. Difficult for them to get that positional advantage, and they can't give this one up. It gives way too much to the side of Entity with an Aghanims and a Refresher, which they already have one. Remember, they still do have that Refresher shard sitting on the Terror Blade.
Yeah, they do. He hasn't had to use it yet.
They
Lots
even
of
still
money
have a
as
cheese.
well. Aster watching from the high ground.
And look at Stormstormer. In the meanwhile this happens, TP's bottom. TP's back up in about 15 seconds. He's going to start threatening Arax here, perhaps. So Aster, they're going to be split between what they have to do.
Yeah, they can't really afford to send anyone down here. I mean, if they don't have the full squad around for this Roshan fight, then it's very unlikely they can take a team fight against Entity.
XWY's got to make the move down. He's got TP at the ready, but doesn't have anything close to the Roche to TP to. I think as soon as, Stormstormer's probably going to say, okay, Void Spirit showed up. You guys can start perhaps tickling that Roshan a little bit. Haven't started it just yet.
Katomi's going to look for the kickback.
Okay, they're looking for the fight.
They're going to clear out the trees. They're going to find Siamese Cat hiding in between them. Yeah, get the kickback on him. That's going to be Siamese Cat going down.
Easy grab. Straight to Roche.
Yep. Hero out of the game. They'll go to Roche. Buyback will come out from Siamese Cat, as Aster really don't want to let Entity get this Roche for free. It's the big one. Aghanims cheese refresher shard. And they'll go for the smoke up themselves. See if Aster can start the fight. Katomi waiting in the tree line.
Perfect positioning.
The smoke. They know that he's in it, but the snowball's already in. He gets the kickback onto XWY. XWY up on the high ground. He was able to jump back down to the low ground in time of the Astral Step. Xeon Disc will get procced. Siamese Cat uses the overgrowth to hold Fishman in position. His own Eon Disc buying him a bit of time, but Fishman will still fall. Gets dragged back, pushed back in fact as well, as he'll die to the siphons of XXS. Has to get the kill. And now looking to the Roche themselves. XXS still has the Exorcism ready to commit with. If he wants to pop it in for this Roche attempt, we'll see what Entity do. 4 versus 5. They do have buyback available on Fishman. So if they use Aster, getting away with a fair bit of damage onto Roshan. Toby has Black Hole good to go.
Boboka has kick stolen too. Something to watch out for in these fights. It's insane the distance that you're able to kick people.
And now out come the Ghost from XXS. They brought it down to half HP. They know they can try and commit to finish this off. Entity, they're going to make the risk to try and get the jump on this one. Toby's trying to step forward, but Monet's keeping damage on him to make sure he can't get the blink off. There's the jump from Katsumi. He tries to get him with a punch up, and he's caught with the silence.
Watson's in.
He'll come in with the metamorphosis. He's looking straight towards Monet, but Monet gets lifted over to the side by Baboka. Toby! He's in on the backlines. Jumps both Monet and Baboka, controlling them here in the black hole. Baboka, he'll go down. Monet also falling low. Watson Sunder. He's able to get it off. Back up to pretty much full HP. Turns towards XXS. XXS, he's up to the high ground though. With the seal totem, XXS will survive. The Roshan goes down. XWI picks up the Aegis. He's going to get taken out. See if they can go for round 2. He wants to. XWI, he jumps in aggressively. Goes in with the Astral Step. Jumps back out with the Dissimulate. Watson up to the high ground. He's in on top of Siamese Cat. Siamese Cat forced to the side. The right clicks on Watson, though, they're too much. Siamese Cat will fall. XWY another Dissimulate as they'll look to back out from this one. Remnant as well to hold on to Watson, but Watson gets forced forward. He's going to have Swift Blink up again in a second, and Katomi is in with the control. Jumps forward, gets the kickback onto XWY. XWY, that's the final Astral Step, 5 seconds until the next one. But they haven't got anything else to close the gap on him, so he'll make it back to the base here.
Aster lost bottom racks, though, during all of this. The creeps just were able to do it themselves. Good fights. I cannot believe that Monet somehow is able to distance himself and survive during all this. Very chaotic, but he gets himself up to the high ground in some crazy type of place to commit for the Roche, who ended up even getting one. I did not see who got the Aghanims.
So we have the Aegis on XWY. Aghanims looks like it went to, I think it's got to be one of Entity, right? I think it was it Watson, right? He didn't buy an Aghanims this game.
I think he might have been able to just buy it and spend his gold. He had so much money.
No, I didn't have not enough to buy a blessing. That would mean he had like 12K
I think so.
or 13K
I'm
gold.
pretty sure it
Did
went to
he
the
have that
Enigma.
much gold?
Yes, he did. He had 12K. I think it went to Toby.
Oh,
Toby
yeah,
has
you're
it.
right. Yeah,
Yep.
you're right. Yeah, Toby picked it up.
Yep.
Must have been. All right, well, here we go. 28K lead now for Entity. Monet.
Stormer.
Oh, this sniper could be in trouble. He's going to be able to get Stormer, but it may have just ended up being a bit of a bait because Monet is going to get jumped. He's healing up, though.
He's still alive.
Titanic at the BKB. He stands his ground against Katomi. Katomi will kick him off to the side. Watson trying to focus down Monet. Monet getting trapped as well here by the shards. And the rest of his team save him. He's able to bounce his way over the shards here with his own Agnum shard with a concussive grenade. Pushes himself back to safety. They're actually going to be able to get out of this. XWY and Monet get back up to the high ground. I mean, I can't believe Monet's able to walk out alive from that.
How is he able to steal? I mean, concussives plus 4 staffs plus Rubik lifts and stuff like that's able to barrel him out of these situations. But I mean, over and over again, it does feel like they're just getting out on the side of Aster.
Only just, yeah. Oh my goodness.
And this was, I believe, the fight before was the first butterfly reveal, but this one you get to see that evasion really coming into play. Watson missed a lot of hits. Watson now, he's queued up MKB. He's trying to find that extra little solution. Even though they have this 25K lead, Aster still able to bring some pretty cool fights coming into play.
They are. We see the big item queued up next. Rapier's there on the horizon for Monet.
Rapier Monet, and an item that we never get to see, perhaps, XWY. If he wants to commit for it, he's got Revenant Scourge. This does an insane amount of damage to a hero like Terrorblade. If he gets like a full combo on him, he could actually just incinerate Watson.
Oh, absolutely, that
could be cool. A lot of things to watch out for.
Heavy magical burst that he's able to turn into. It's going to be pretty wild. But yeah, spending it will mean no buyback. So obviously this stage, you've got to really consider the buyback situations.
Yeah. Because even though, as we stated like multiple times, there's a lot of answers for these black holes and stuff like that, game is starting to get to the point, and has been getting to the point, where there's so much chaos that could be likely that Toby's actually able to get these black holes off now, too. So saving these buybacks is probably pretty important. This game's insane.
I mean, do you think for either of these sides there's an advantage to be had in looking for fights whilst Roshan's not in play? Like trying to go for something aggressive in these sort of 4 minutes where Roche isn't available?
I feel like for Entity it's always a lot easier just because of Katomi. He's got clean initiations that he can go for and that he can get out every single time, right? He just gets the kickoff, snowballs back. So for him it's a little bit easier. For Aster, like I said before, it feels like it's just them getting out a little of these fights. So it's a little bit harder still for them.
No, we're not getting the Rapier Dream from Monet.
Oh.
He'll go for kind of a later pickup on the Mjolnir.
Okay, and he gets rid of the butterfly. So he's like, okay, I know. He's he's
Yep.
baiting Watson to get an MKB, and then he's switching it to more damage. All right, let's see if it pays off.
Okay, well, in the action, XXS, he's in on the front lines. We'll be able to get the BKB and the Exorcism off. Watson turns towards him, but with the Ogre Seal Totem, XXS is able to jump away. XWI tries to get in onto Fishman, but does get caught by that Hex reveal. The first reveal of it there from Stormer. XWI looks over towards Toby. Toby puts the BKB, steps to the side. Watson looks towards Monet, but Monet's going to be able to make his way back down to the safety of the low ground. Separates away here from Entity. XXS still in on the front lines, tanking a lot of damage as the Death Prophet, but this time it may be too much for him as the Delusions are bringing him down low. They'll jump forward, they'll finish him off. XXS goes down. Siamese Cat holds back momentarily here with the Overgrowth. Monet, he's just getting bounced around all over the place. They'll close the gap in onto the Snowball, but again, he gets lifted by BO2 off to the side. There's 2 dead though on Aster as Entity get on top of Monet. Aster will have to start considering using the buybacks here, but they've already used the one from XWY. Siamese Cat doesn't have one, but XXS and Monet do have their buybacks available. Entity, they're going to come charging straight down the mid lane to look to force these buybacks out. And here comes the first one. Monet back in action, same to be said for XXS. The buybacks are forced out. See what Entity want to do off the back of this. They've managed to force all 3 core buybacks from Aster within the last 30 seconds.
How do you play as Monet? He's just getting bounced everywhere. He's getting kicked
all
back
over the
into
place.
the fights. He's getting Hurricane Puck, then he gets lifted and thrown out of the fight, then he gets kicked back in, he gets thrown back in over and over again. Entity, they have the answers, and Watson just continues to be the little biggest beast ever on this Terrorblade this game.
Yeah.
10-0 and 5. 53,000 that one. Like, holy crap.
Oh my goodness. He's completely slotted out. I mean, well, I guess the last final purchase could be a refresher orb for himself if he wants to.
Yeah.
Then he'll be truly done. Then he's truly done with his purchases. There's nothing else he can buy.
No. Aster looking to make maybe perhaps a bit of a desperate move, but it is under the vision.
I'll catch him by surprise, but no, Storm's prepared. He turns, gets the Hex off straight away. XWI jumps in with the silence. You see BO2 trying to get in on the backlines, but Watson immediately deletes the Rubik. That's BO2 gone for 100 seconds. Aster, they've got to look to reset unless they really want to try and take this fight 4 versus 5. Stormer trying to slow down the escape here of XXS. He's in with the Hex. Katomi jumps forward. There's going to be the kickback. They'll turn towards XXS. He'll get the BKB off. XWY jumps in with the silence, trying to give some sort of safety here for XXS to get a few siphons off, but XXS falls. The black hole's there from Toby. Gets put to a stop by the Overgrowth, and Siamese Cat allows the chance for XWY to jump back to the base. But it's 2 down now on Aster. Neither of them with buyback. Entity, they've got the full 5-man ready, and Watson's into the high ground. Jumps up towards the tier 4s, goes pretty deep here, and does get caught by the Remnant. He'll Sundust Toby here to get himself back up to full HP. Buyback comes out from Siamese Cat. See if Aster can hold 3 versus 5. Trying their best here. Monet managed to take down 1, takes out Fishman. For the mid-racks, they'll get cleaned up. Here's the Entity are able to push in with the illusions of Watson. As the mid-set taken, he'll look up towards the top lane. They know they've still got this pretty big window. The biggest one here being the fact that there's no Death Prophet for 80 seconds.
They're gonna chill though. They're gonna wait for the respawn.
All right.
Playing it very careful, very patient. They know that they have this tremendous lead. Roche is gonna be spawning soon. Probably looking to just play it a little cautious. No black hole available too. Katomi is making this. I mean, it's been kind of broken for a little bit, right? Like in a way, but Katomi's really making this Tusk look broken with the way they're playing around it with Watson's net worth.
See how long it's a long respawn. 2 minutes on the Roche respawn.
Now it's an Octarine also on Katomi. So even more kickbacks that are going to be coming out here.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I'm very impressed with the way that Entity's been playing this game.
Yeah, and as you say, they're making sure they get the safest way out of this. They may have this lead, they have this window, but they don't need to rush it. They know with how far Watson is, as long as they can get the execution right in these team fights, Watson will be able to clean up each and every time. Toby's got his next big item done, refreshers completed.
Good lord.
And it very much is at a point, 1 good black hole, and this game's going to be shut down.
Yep. And also even like there could be potential situations where a fight's occurring in one situation and now 25 is also an Enigma. The Eidolons could just end the game too. Him or Stormer.
That's true, yeah. So,
and
a lot of push.
Other little, haven't talked about it too much, but little invisible impact that's been happening constantly in all these team fights too is Stormer level 25 with the Nether Ward. XWY is killing himself in a lot of these fights. He's literally doing like half of his HP instantly whenever he casts the spells.
Let's see. See what 60-minute items we get. Ooh, a mirror shield. Very nice here for Entity. Always a lovely one to get.
pirate hat for Monet. Definitely a dream there for the sniper.
Make sure he gets digging, though. Got to get those bounty runes. In fact, are those bounty runes going to help him sort of fuel some of their buybacks? Actually will, but Boca's goes short, so if he can pick up a few more bounties, we'll get that back online. Of course, the rest of the team's buybacks are still on cooldown for quite a long time, at least 3 minutes each.
Got to play
that rapier.
Yeah, he needs it. He needs all the damage they can get. It's him versus the world. It feels like his allies are just distractions to allow him to just sit and keep his ground, but not enough of distractions. Toby, I mean, now he's got 2 black holes, mirror shield as well, too, to be able to protect the black hole even more so.
Yep. We've got Apex. Does Watson want to have that?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Let's look at the armor when he has it. Okay, 47 or 41 plus 3 right now. 52. There we go. Jacked up.
What's the percentage resistance there? Yeah, nearly reaching up to the 80% physical resistance now.
Yep, 77%.
So, yeah, you're going to need that rapier if you're Monet.
And you're going to need to probably isolate the tower. You're going to need to kill everybody else and then focus fire him at the end of it. But now,
sure,
you got to go through Roshan again. Another Ags, another refresher shard. Who wants it?
Who still needs one?
I mean, Stormer.
Stormer.
Very likely. Both are very good for him.
Yeah, it's yeah, for sure. It goes both to Stormer.
They just give it a Fishman.
No, actually, well, refresher shard might go to Watson, right?
They actually gave it a Fishman.
Oh, they did? Over Stormer.
Okay, whatever. Sure.
I mean, well, maybe is Pugnarags that bad right now?
No, it makes the cooldown nice and low.
Okay.
I guess I mean, that's not the style that Stormstormer is. Stormstormer's not really even using too many life drains, right? So, okay, whatever. Definitely not the Aghanim that I thought they were going to give. They have the important ones already, but yeah, I thought they would definitely give it a Stormstormer.
Oh, does he have
60,000 gold.
He's got the money for it, pretty much.
Okay.
Yeah, especially if he sells something to kind of free up a slot for it.
What does he sell, though?
But, I mean, buyback is back up in about 2 minutes. You know, just under 2 minutes or so. So, Aster, they still want to probably just hope that they can hold long enough to be able to take a fight where they do have these buybacks. It'll be interesting to see if Entity's keeping a track of these buybacks and want to try and force this next fight before those buybacks come off cooldown.
What does Monet get rid of, too? He kind of needs everything. Might just have to get rid of something like the Mjolnir, or maybe just the beat. I don't know, because he needs Lincolns for the kick. He needs Hurricane Pike for positioning. I don't know.
That's true, because none of his other cores have Lincolns to sort of throw onto him.
No.
If he was to get rid of that in terms of the slot, so it is going to be a bit awkward.
And Entity, they're already starting to poke. Stormstormer, he's blasting.
I mean, this is the time to go. Still this bit of a time where there's no buybacks. Buybacks are still on cooldown. This would be a big time for Entity to hit and close the game up.
They're just going for the racks. They're at least just going to go for the Mega Creeps. Not going to try to just go for these tier 4s just yet. Who has what? Seer Stone picked up now for Baboka. Crazy cast range. Stygian Desolator has now been swapped into play for Monet instead of the Pirate Hat. Much more damage.
Sure, yeah, and use all the damage you can get.
SWY. He did make it to high ground.
With the Hex, but he has got the Eon Disc. We'll be able to jump back up towards the safety of the base, but already Watson's in. Watson gets caught by the Remnant. Be able to back off the side. They used the Decrepify to give him a chance to walk out of the range of Monet. Fishman going to get very quickly taken out, but there's the jump forward. They get the kickback onto Monet. Monet jumps back with a concussive grenade. Will manage to separate itself back from Toby. Toby's got the black hole. It's pulling them in. It's going to catch Monet, but they're able to put a stop to it. Monet falling low. They'll use the aggressively, but Monet is starting life still back up. Jumps back away with the concussive grenade, and he's standing his ground against Watson.
Oh my God.
Watson's going to get taken out. That's the Aegis gone. Watson is going to be back in from round 2. Buybacks coming in from Entity.
Watson?
Toby trying to head it back over towards the fight to help Watson out and put the BKB on an attempt to retreat. Got the Silver Edge as well as he'll be able to sneak away. Jump forward for XWY. He's looking for him. XWY. They're going to get the lift up. They've got the cat. There's going to be the Black Hole again. Toby's able to turn the fight. Keep it solid here for Entity. As the Black Hole gets laid down, Siamese Cat out of the game. XXS trapped him by the shard, but no, the Ogre Seal Totem once more, giving him a chance to get out to the side, siphons the Eidolons. He's able to keep himself alive. XWY considering continue to chase, but doesn't want to go into the high ground. They'll back off. I mean, Entity, they commit 3 buybacks there for that fight. So they may be 41k gold ahead, Fogged, but they've got to be a little bit careful now. If they take a bad fight and go down without buybacks, Aster just might have the chance to punch back. And already that, 50 to 60k lead that Entity had, with those buybacks expended, it's actually slipping away from them a little bit. Aster, they're holding on in this game.
I mean, Monet's able, that fight, he's able to actually sit his ground and fight. I mean, by sit his ground, I mean Hurricane Pike himself out of into a better position, Concussive Grenade himself into a better position, but he holds his ground long enough to Toby casting Black Hole. XWY actually has the cancel. He jumps through it, gets the silence. These fights are crazy. Monet still showing that there is a possibility of them doing it.
I mean, this is insane to see Monet doing it in a game where, I mean, in terms of the farm, you know, he's 20k, well, he was about 20k behind. The Terrorblade now with the jump in the mid. Aster, it's go, go, go from them. They're going to use the Overgrowth here to catch Stormstormer. Stormstormer will still be able to step back underneath the tier 2 Remnant. Not going to grab him. BKB lasting long enough to allow him to get back to safety.
Good lord.
Force Entity doing their best to try not to have to commit the buyback from Watson, and indeed they shouldn't need to. He's going to be back up in 10 seconds. Aster, they're going to push down the mid as hard as they can. They get the tier 2, but they will have to back up to defend. Bottom lane is getting pushed into the base here. The creep momentum will have to be dealt with. So they respect the fact that Watson's back in the game, and they'll back off. But as I say, even with this 37k lead or so, Entity have got to be a little bit careful now. So in terms of their buybacks, how many heroes is it without buybacks? 3 heroes without buybacks. Toby, Kataomi, and Fishman. Another sort of rough fight like that within the base of Aster, it could absolutely lead the game to be in a situation where Aster's able to take some of the base away from Entity.
Definitely scary things. They have to, I mean, just full commit onto Monet, right? They just have to try to get him. But
get this sniper,
it's definitely scary now, like you said, because those buybacks being on cooldown. And I think this, honestly, the Stygian Desolator instead of the Pirate Hat might have made such a big difference there. It is a lot of damage how much it is going to give you. That -10 armor, it's a huge negation. Even though Terrorblade has so much overwhelming armor, it does help quite a lot. And Terrorblade, you know, but Watson's got slot issues. Like, he's having to swap in the bots too. He's having to keep swapping in items. He's even swapped out the Apex going for Mirror Shield. Monet.
That's just trying to take a fight here with the XWY with the jump over towards Stormstormer. Eon just going to be BKB a propped. Stormstormer.
He's got Machina though. So even though he does pop that BKB, will be refreshed immediately. I mean, very low cooldown.
For Monet as well, does he buy this Rapier, or has he got to prioritize just playing with the buyback?
I think prioritize with the buyback. He is way too important at this point. This game is nuts. We've had a lot of super late game games, and I think a lot of them have been, I mean, Aster, right? I think Aster's had the 80-minute game, another in a 70-minute game. Beautiful stuff coming out. Even when they're at this type of a deficit, they have good vision too that they placed in these last few moments. Since they were finally able to get out of their base, they actually placed 3 very aggressive wards. Here.
Put the jump on Stormstormer. And we'll see. Siamese Cat goes to the Overgrowth. Toby will be able to remove it. So he's away.
Stormstormer can just freely pop his BKBs. It's a really good luxury that he has because of Ex Machina.
Right?
Yeah. Well, Machina, you just pop.
I guess that. Sure.
It's 18 seconds, so he just pops Machina.
Cooldown.
BKB's back, good to go. He can do a lot of crazy plays with this, just TPing around the map and stuff like that too with it. As Aster in the open field, it's a lot scarier for them with Monet's positioning. But when he's inside the base, you can see he feels a lot better just with the stand his ground and hit. Buybacks. What are we looking at? Still 3 minutes. 3 minutes also on the side of XWY, though, and he has shown that he is incredibly important.
I think Entity will still play it safe themselves, though. I don't think they're going to try and run him for anything whilst these buybacks aren't ready for their 3 players.
No, they're going to look to control the vision and probably, honestly, wait for another Roshan, wait for another Aegis.
Aster, I like this, though. A bit more proactive from them.
Okay.
They do want to find this fight. You know, sure, as you say, XWY doesn't have his, but the fact that there's 3 heroes that they could knock out for good, that's very appealing here for Aster. Katomi's in on the high ground. He's going to be able to snowball down towards the Ancients. They're going to turn, get the Hex off. So forcing out Katomi to the side. Katomi's able to get away. XWY wants to continue to commit in. Make the jump over towards Stormstormer. Stormstormer's Eon Disc going to be propped here by the damage of Monet. Still keep his distance. And he clears out the raid pack. Another jump from XWY. Looks to get the grab with the Remnant onto Katomi, but won't be able to find him. XXS is considering committing in with the BKB and the Exorcism. Pots the BKB, but he'll hold back on the Exorcism. Doesn't go in with the ult quite as at this moment in time. Entity, they pull back as well.
I like the confidence on XWY. I mean, he knows he has to play like
he
this.
Just goes in.
He has to jump in and break these Aeon discs for them to have some type of chance to kill some of these targets, but it's just not easy. They're not even able to pop Katomi's, I believe. Yeah, he still has this available. And honestly, I mean, Stormer with this Ex Machina, it's pretty busted when he has all these items. Like, he's just refreshing his Aeon Disc, refreshing his BKB, his X. He's just freely popping them as liberal as possible. 70 minutes is hit. Aster looking to go in again.
What? The only wants to Storm in again with his very low cooldown on the Aeon Disc to the BKB. He's going to have the chance to survive. Gets back over to the help of his teammates.
Refreshed. Ex Machina popped everything back at the ready. And immediately TP's bottom to keep the waves pushing. Can join his team back up in like 10 seconds or so. Eidolon's starting to whittle down this top racks. The range racks will drop.
Just this melee rack standing now between Aster and being mega creeped.
Why the hell does Ex Machina refresh Aeon Disc? This is broken. I'm sorry. I'm just going to say. It's like a 3-minute cooldown for a reason. But it's working out. Entity.
Roshan's up. This is what, the fifth Rosh?
Fifth or
sixth Rosh?
Sixth? I don't know. I lost count. I think it's the fifth.
All of them.
12,000 gold on Watson.
Okay, finally Stormer will get the Ags, because he's the only one left who hasn't got one, right?
Yep. Refresher shard, probably
Watson.
on Watson. Yep.
I think he likes to play with it.
Wait, whoa, he's like kind of. Yeah, what does he replace though? Just kidding. He's gonna tell him.
Well, no, he's got. Oh!
Yeah.
See the jump XWY. He's in on the backlines. He's going to try and stay committing on to Katomi. Toby jumps in with the BKB. XXS has already got the Exorcism out. Toby lays down the Tombstone. Remnant's not going to be able to grab it. We'll see them get the Hex off onto Monet. Katomi's in with the kickback. They've got the kickback onto Monet. They're surrounded. The Sniper is going to get taken out. He's down for 2 minutes. Buyback is at the ready here for Monet. We'll see Aster back off. Entity's going to get the space to finish off Roshan. This time round, Entity, they're able to get the Sniper kicked into the midst of the fight. He's not able to dance his way out of there. Storm's TPing away. He just really doesn't want the Sag in him, Svog.
Who's going to get it, though? He's the only one left.
Kill it.
Just kill it. Nah, he'll pick it up soon. Maybe.
Will he? Here we go.
Okay. It's a lot of net worth. Maybe he doesn't want it. Great play, though. So I think they found a little bit of a solution. They have to get the Hex with the kick so that Monet is able to cast his little Hurricane Pike, cast his little Concussive Blade and stuff like that.
All right. Well, here we go.
Anthony.
They got the Roshan, they got the Aegis, they got the everything. They're ready to push it down the lane and see. Well, they'll definitely. You know, I imagine they're going to definitely force back out this buyback from Monet. And here indeed it comes out. Monet buys back.
Stormer liberally pops his BKB and Aeon Disc. Pops the Ex Machina, ready to go again. Tower. Rax getting whittled down.
Black Doll, of course, back up here from Toby as well.
BKB also coming back up for Toby.
SWI sitting right back, so he can look to prepare for some big steals if Entity tries to commit him with these ultimates.
This is so broken. Look at this. They pop the Aeon Disc. Oh, Machina refreshed again. I mean, Stormer is just making it look actually so busted. The item build is perfect for it.
It really is. It really is.
Goes back to space. Ready? Ex Machina. TP's back in. Aeon Disc is ready. This is so insane.
What the hell?
The best usage of Ex Machina ever.
Oh. Stormer.
Alright, they force another Ex Machina BK, or another Aeon Disc BKB, and Ex Machina.
It's got perma BKB, perma E on this.
This is so busted, oh my god. Aster's trying their hardest versus it. They're holding on to that last Rax, but it's not easy by any means.
There it is. He's finally got his rapier. Monet.
Okay.
Well, we'll see what he takes out of a slot for it. Where is it? He bought it from the enemy secret
bought it from
shop.
the other side. Yeah.
Enemy secret shop is coming over now in the courier. Fresh delivery. About to be dropped off here for Monet. We'll see what he plays with out of his inventory for the rapier.
It's the BKB. Okay.
BKB. Okay. All right.
Nice.
Well,
okay, now you get rid of the Daedalus.
No, wait, he swapped it. Okay, yeah. Yeah, I think, yeah. Get the Daedalus out. Ooh, and a rapier as well coming out for Watson. Both teams picking up rapiers here for the next fight.
Stormer again. BKB. Gets a couple blasts off. They didn't even get the Aeon Disc this time. Not like it matters. A tree gets a nullifier. He's like, all right, I'm sick of this. We need an answer to Aeon Disc. Not the ideal hero to have it by any means, but... Oh, the courier!
Oh, do they see it?
No. It sneaks by. They saw it, but they didn't kill it. Is this the answer?
They're going to try. They're in. The nullifier's bringing him down low. It's going to allow him to kill him.
It works.
It actually did it there. Siamese Cat with a nullifier pickup. Toby puts the BKB in the black hole, but he's ends up dying. He'll be back for a second round off the back of the
Stolen black hole.
See Provoker, the stolen black hole here to catch Fishman and Kataomi. Toby puts the BKB, he's getting healed up by Storm, and there's the second black hole. He's caught XWY. XWY's out of the game. He has buyback, saved himself for Provoker. Monet still in good position to get the damage done. He's sitting on the high ground, looks towards Kataomi. Kataomi getting kicked back here. A stolen kick drags him back towards Monet. But then he's actually able to use his own kick to kick Monet down to the low ground. XXX jumps in to drive front line for the sniper. Monet forces his way back up to the high ground, turns towards Fishman. Fishman stealing a lot of strength because we had him, but the ancient falls to the creeps.
What an ending.
Well, they finally won.
Oh my god.
The creeps, they'd had enough. They were like, can we just end this, please? And